Top of the morning, everyone.
No matter where in the world you are, this is
Real Speaks.
Welcome, everybody, to our first show. This is our weekly current events show.
Yes.
What kind of stories do we cover, T?
We're going to be talking about current events, things that are going on in the world, some of the news that you're probably not going to find on the mainstream media. Also, a bit of other news that is probably happening around the world that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
We're also going to go into some of those taboo subjects, like ancient aliens and the alien agenda and some of the stuff, too, that people don't want to talk about.
Yes, it.
But we're actually going to address them, and we're going to address them all with as much grace and personality as we possibly can, being as respectful as we can to everybody who might be listening. But most importantly, this particular show, we've put this together so that you can tune in every week and follow along with some of the diabolical things that are going on in our world today on a weekly basis. They're signs of the times.
Signs of the times, but also along with the diabolical things, there are a few gems out there as well. There are people in this world who are fighting the good fight of faith. So when we find those, we will share those with you also.
Absolutely. And just as a side note, this is the weekly show, but what we're going to do is also create a lot of these off to the side special reports shows, because some of these topics are so big and they go so deep and we have so much information to share on them with our research that we want to just be able to create like one particular video about the alien agenda and all of the stuff that's going on with, like, the Vatican has a telescope called Lucifer, and things going on with CERN, and then like another video that's all about different theories about the flood and stuff. So we're going to have these different off to the side special report videos, and we're hoping that they will be more educational to you than anything else, as well as entertaining, but really just informative, because we have been researching. Tivon and I, we're researchers.
Yes, we are.
We've been researching a lot, and we are just fascinated with some of these things that we have been finding, and we really just can't wait to share them with our friends. Yeah. We have a website. Please visit our website, realspeaks.com. We've also got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you will hopefully get updates every time we post a new video. We're planning on doing this show once a week. Yes. On Wednesday in the evening, our time, and we are generally located in the London time zone. Yes. Because we are located in Morocco. In addition to that, we are also putting these shows into an MP3 podcast that you can go and download and listen to on your phone, and that is at realspeaks.podbean.com. And of course, all of those links will be made available at the bottom of this video, and all the links that we talk about when we're going through each and every one of the stories that we're covering about what happened in the news recently, they will all be involved in one blog post, so that if you hear us talking about something, you can go to the blog post, check on the links, and go read all the stories for yourselves.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
With the first show, just this week, we've got a lot to cover. The big story. What's the biggest story?
I think in the past day or so, it's the Veritas video expose on CNN. And probably, in fact, by the time you hear this Real Speaks, I think Veritas, they're going to come out with part 2. Very soon.
We're looking at the video. This is the Project Veritas website, which is veritaslive.com, and this is the video that came out today. It is titled American Pravda CNN Producer Says Russia Narrative is BS. So basically what happened here is they just confessed. You had a producer of CNN confessing that they made up the entire story that they've been trying to pitch against President Trump. And he says that CNN ratings are incredible right now. President Trump is good for business. So that's the reason why they're making up stories.
Yes, that's
right. They're making up stories in order to get good ratings. And CNN has made millions of dollars off of making up a story. And when we get to the end of this show, we're gonna tie it up with that. Because this is something that's being done all the time right now in media, is to make up a story, profit greatly off of it, and it's not true. So this is why Trump says that it's fake news. So you can go and check out the video and see exactly what he said and see it in his own words. But basically, here's some of the highlights of it. He says that the Russian narrative is mostly BS right now.
Yeah.
And he went and he said that they have no real proof, and they're basically just doing a witch hunt on the president. And
also, what this producer was claiming is that the schedule, as far as what CNN should cover, was basically governed by the CEO directly.
Yeah.
To get back to talk about the Russia.
This has hit CNN pretty hard, and I don't think CNN is even acting like it affects them at all. Yeah. So the Veritas video is not all. There's another story that came out. CNN's Russia story was retracted, and because of the danger of relying on one anonymous source.
That's the real problem, is that CNN keeps getting caught with the situation to where, when it comes to verifying these claims of interaction with the Trump administration and Russia during the election campaign, they really don't have anything.
Well, I mean, let's just read a couple of lines from this article here. This is from Washington Post. It says, just a day after publishing an exclusive story, CNN found itself in a position that no news organization wants to be in. It reported last Thursday that the Senate Intelligence Committee was investigating a Russian investment fund whose head met with an official at President Trump's transition team 4 days before the inauguration. The story, which relied on one unnamed source, prompted questions about its validity, including from the transition team official, Anthony Scaramucci, who said on Twitter that he had done nothing wrong. So the article goes on from there basically to say that they relied on a source. It was a bogus source. The story was completely made up. It was not verified, and they had to actually retract the story. And as a result of this, 3 of the journalists had to leave CNN after the retracted article. Now, they say they resigned, but they were forced to resign. The President Trump actually responded to this in a tweet, because that's how he seems to like to respond to things that are happening. He likes to tweet.
He loves his tweets.
So here's his tweet page where he says, so they caught fake news CNN cold. But what about NBC, CBS, and ABC? What about the failing New York Times and Washington Post? They are all fake news. So, and there's some more tweets here. He's been going on about it, actually. Fake news CNN is looking at big management changes now that they got caught falsely pushing their phony Russian stories. Ratings way down. Now, here's another very interesting article that was shared by somebody on my Facebook page that kind of adds a little more depth to the story. Why did they retract the article in the first place? Right? Why did CNN retract the article in the first place? And apparently, they were facing a $100 million lawsuit over the botched Russia story.
Yes, that's it. And there's always questions about that's a massive lawsuit. When it's disclosed that basically you're not doing proper journalism, but instead you're doing propaganda hit pieces in order to make lots of money in advertising revenue, then I guess you can expect these kind of things to happen.
So we've seen a lot of this propaganda stuff, and I remember when it all started coming out, and, regardless of what side you're on, the way we feel is we're just glad Hillary didn't get in, because, let's not forget.
No, that'd been bad news.
Yeah, well, wasn't Putin sitting with his finger on the button?
I think quite a few countries were in that same position.
Waiting to start nuclear war if Hillary did get in there. So it's like anything but Hillary is what a lot of people were thinking.
Yeah.
But here we are, we're rolling along. Trump might not be perfect, and there's all kinds of interesting things going on. We don't agree with everything he does. However, we're about to go into an area right now because we want to talk about some of the insanity that is going on in America that's being allowed. it has to be allowed because it's still going on.
Yeah.
There's footage everywhere. No one's really stopping it, and it's really making a lot of people very angry. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a flat-out assault on. It's just really taking advantage of every level of decency in the country.
Yeah, and it's a lot of propaganda, and it's actually very well funded as well. We've got all these different movements that we've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter. George Soros was funding a whole bunch of different things. The DNC got caught by Veritas and a lot of other videos. So we're just going to kind of show you something I found that was really interesting. There's a bunch of people that are talking right now about how, I hate to say the words out loud, but that America is heading for another civil war.
Yeah.
Like it's beginning right now.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are actually calling it that. So this is a very interesting site that I found in some of my research. It's amren.com, which stands for American Renaissance, and they actually put together an anti-Trump hate map.
That's interesting. Look at that.
So what you're looking at here is a map of the United States with all of these different icons on it, and it says the anti-Trump hate map is an outgoing project of the American Renaissance that displays criminal incidents in which Trump supporters were targeted for political reasons.
Wow.
Yeah, each marker on the map shows the location of an anti-Trump hate crime.
I'm looking at the
right?
At the states involved, and like I'm trying to remember in the election, what state voted what.
I mean, there's even, let's see, clicking on a marker opens a brief overview of the case.
Right.
Red markers signify violent crimes. Blue markers, property crimes, and purple markers are other crimes.
Okay.
And
there's a lot in the New York area and in California. Okay.
So, well, I find it very interesting that somebody's actually tracking the anti-Trump hate map.
Yeah.
It's there. And we're going to go through a few other things because what I'm seeing now, again, regardless of what side you're on and if you like him or you don't like him, have you ever seen the kinds of unprecedented hatred towards the president like you see right now? The stuff that's happening is just, I can't believe it's happening.
Well, a hate map I don't think was generated during the time Obama was in the office. The protesters, the protests that I've been seeing with the Actors Guild, or and musicians and comedians, to me is bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Let's back up a little bit because we've had some new celebrities.
Okay, yeah.
These celebrities are, what did we say earlier, T? It was like they're falling on their career assassination by making statements about how they want to assassinate the president's swords. Right?
Yeah.
Is that how we put it?
They all seem to be falling on their swords. I don't. Why is that? What is that all about?
Well, let's just back everybody up in case you didn't catch this one. Here's Madonna a few months back, I think it was in February, at the Women's March, saying how she wants to blow up the White House.
I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
She goes on from there.
Yeah, right. Just gets worse from there.
The speech just kind of made me twinge. And here's the thing, I grew up listening to her, right? That's the hard part, because these are people that we grew up watching and listening to, and it's like, But
why now? Why are they all coming out now all of a sudden?
Well, there's obviously something going on behind it. All right, now we've got Jim Carrey. Mm-hmm. This made me so sad.
Yeah.
Because I really loved Jim Carrey. He was so funny. Do you remember him on Living Color?
I remember from Living Color on to this movie career. I just don't. Again, why now? It's like someone hit the actors fall on your sword button.
Right. So
now.
Let's see. So Jim Carrey apparently is having a dream that he clubbed the president to death.
I had a dream the other night about that I was playing golf with Donald Trump, and I was standing beside him with a club in my hand, and I was, considering my options. when I suddenly woke up. You know, it was one of those dreams where you want to just get back to sleep so you can finish it.
And oh, who can forget Kathy Griffin, very recently in the news, who I'm not showing that photo. That she did a horrible photo of her holding up Donald Trump's head severed and bloody like it was an ISIS video. But here she is. We have to play this clip because she's now actually crying. She's crying because she said that he ruined her career because they fired her from the New Year's Eve show, and she lost all kinds of different contracts. So these are actors that are actually, they're just like throwing themselves on their swords. So let's take a brief look at this video clip.
Really bizarre.
So regarding the image that I participated in, that apology absolutely stands. I feel horrible, but I just wanted to say, you know, if you don't stand up, you get run over. And what's happening to me has never happened ever in the history of this great country, which is that a sitting president of the United States and his grown children and the First Lady are personally, I feel, personally, trying to ruin my life forever. Forever. I'm going to be honest, he broke me. He broke me. He broke. And then I was like, no, this isn't right. It's just not right.
It's not right. I don't want any consequences for bad decisions. It's not right.
I've heard enough.
Oh, but there's more, honey. Let's go on and let's look at Johnny Depp. Another giant disappointment.
Et tu, Johnny. I can't believe it.
Et tu, Johnny. All right, so this is a clip of Johnny Depp, and he is at the Glastonbury Festival. And this happened, last week, I guess.
Yeah.
And Glastonbury Festival, and he's making a joke about assassinating the president.
Johnny Depp on stage at a music festival in the UK when, apparently speaking in jest, he referred to assassinating President Trump. When Depp brings up President Trump's name, the audience cheers.
I think he needs help. I don't know. A lot of wonderful dark places he could go.
Then Depp said this.
By the way, this is going to be in the press. It'll be horrible. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president? Now, I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living. However, it's been a while. And maybe it's time.
So, now we see the backlash of that really bad decision made by Johnny Depp. So, look at this one. Johnny Depp is finished. Look what just went viral. So let's see. The Gateway Pundit reported that despite apologizing for suggesting that he would assassinate President Trump, leaders in the MAGA movement are calling for the washed-up actor to be fired from the Harry Potter spin-off movie. So he's done. His career is finished.
I just don't understand what these actors are. What's going on here? It's like they're told to say something that clearly is going to decimate their career.
Well, I do have a theory. So let's
entertain this. This is real speak. So we're
going to go down a little rabbit hole now.
It's our opinion. And see where this is going here.
So, and we'll just break out Johnny Depp a little bit. So Johnny Depp was at the Glastonbury Festival, right? Now, have you been to Glastonbury? Have you been to see the actual?
No, I haven't actually been to Glastonbury. No.
Well, I'm just gonna highlight some parts of this one video that came out from Call for an Uprising, because he did a whole Illuminati symbolism video on the festival itself, and of course Katy Perry, the Illuminati poster girl was up there doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So we'll just we'll pull these images up, and we will describe what we're seeing here. So here is Katy Perry, and this is her at the festival performing. You can see the giant. She's wearing this weird costume with the in-your-face Illuminati all-seeing eye. Yep, it's everywhere. She comes out of, she's got big lips behind her on one of these screens here, and there's eyes and lips everywhere. Now here's an interesting image that actually shows the stage.
Yeah, but that's reminiscent of Glastonbury for the past several years.
Yeah. The stage is in the shape of a giant Illuminati type of pyramid. Symbolism everywhere.
I mean, there's similar type of mascotting going on during the London Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same thing. So we know that we have these rituals that are happening around these things, and she's done some pretty disgusting things as well on stage, and we've got all kinds of stuff there. So that's just one little rabbit hole I wanted to go down. I wanted to also just talk about, since we're on the Call for an Uprising channel, I wanted to bring to your attention one video that I think would be worth a watch. Okay, this video is called "The Joke Will Be on Them in the End, the Game's Over." So this is a video done about a very old case about the Memphis 3. There was satanic rituals, and 3 young children were murdered and found murdered by 3 different suspects. And these guys were Satanists. Mm-hmm. They were practicing Satanists. They had Aleister Crowley books and rituals, and they were very, very proud of that. And they went to prison, but they were in jail for something like 18 years. And they were known as the Memphis 3, and everyone was going out there saying, they're innocent, let them out of jail. And Johnny Depp took on their case, and he was one of the really big ones that took on their case to try to get them out of prison. They were released from prison, some kind of botched evidence, something or other. But Call for an Uprising does a really great job going through the entire case and showing you that, they probably were not innocent. They just got off, and they had all of these celebrities that are involved in these satanic rituals that include, pedophile rings and all of the come together and try to get them out of, they take care of each other, these Satanists and these groups. They certainly do. And there's something else going on too that I wanted to make sure that I brought to everyone's attention. There is a continuance of a group of witches that are casting spells on President Trump. Now, they started doing it a while back, and they're continuing to do it. This particular article here, called "This Morning Thousands of Witches Cast a Spell Against Donald Trump," and this was published on June 20th because it was for the summer solstice.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Now, these witches, this one in particular, it says if you read down in the article that they've actually committed themselves to meet on a monthly basis so that they can cast spells against Trump, to harm Trump. And I'm actually going to play a brief clip of this one video showing a bunch of witches that basically got together and did a spell ritual right outside of Trump Tower. That's enough of that. They start screaming "so mote it be" a few times there as well. But this is the kind of stuff that's going on against the President of the United States. And it's really out there. So before we move on to our next topic, what's your thoughts on all that, T?
Well, there's just spiritual wickedness on the planet right now. And with as many witches and casting spells that's going on, Trump is he's given divine protection by those who pray for him in the name of Jesus Christ. And so these witches can continue to cast spells all day, all they want. But the point is, he has an important role in this world. And, you know, I think the Creator has plans for him. Now, whether you vote for Trump or not, my point is, he is the President of the United States, and a lot of people are taking liberty in doing and saying things to try to create a polarization during a time when there's economic upheaval. A lot of these problems, I mean, he certainly didn't create, but is due to the result of previous administrations. And to be honest, the things that people, especially public figures who are out there, are saying and doing are things that even in the previous administration they wouldn't get away with. So something has changed in the country. Now, I personally don't think a civil war is the answer. It's my opinion. But there are a lot of people, they are afraid of something. And at the moment, seeing how, for example, the actors and actresses are throwing themselves on their swords, something's not right. There's something going on behind the scenes that these people are afraid of.
It's some really bad stuff, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more actors and actresses coming forward and doing some really unpredictable things. But the one thing that we've noticed is that a lot of them seem to be in the washed up phase of their careers.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, or they've been kind of like gone and out of the spotlight, and all of a sudden they pop up out of nowhere.
Except for, I mean, I guess someone can make the argument that could be the case with Jim Carrey, but I have to admit, even like Johnny Depp, some of these other actors that are doing this now, they just had movies done.
And what was up with Jim Carrey?
Well,
looking like crazy mountain man,
grizzly man,
grizzly guy, like what was that? I don't know. I don't think that's a good look for him.
You know, he needs to shave the beard. But the thing is that okay, after the election, it was people that you didn't see on the set for years. And the thing is that I don't follow the celebrity stuff. The only reason why we're even talking about it is because they made such a big thing in public about the President of the United States, and maybe for them that is kind of like the last gasp to fame. So
it looks really bad for the rest of the world, because this is the media. This is the media that's coming out from America, and this is the stuff that's going everywhere, and this is what people that are not in America are seeing.
Yeah.
So it's representing the country in the wrong light.
Yes, it is.
As far as we're concerned. So,
yeah.
And we're expats living outside of America, so we have to continuously explain this to our friends that
it feels that way.
You know, well, it feels that way, right? Anyway, so let's move on to another topic here, because we have a bunch of stories that I want to touch on around the areas of finance and pedophiles, because they're actually connected. So I want to draw everybody's attention to a couple of videos that I would recommend going and watching.
Yeah.
One of them is the SGT report. An investigative journalist, Liz Crokin, joins him for an in-depth discussion about the attempted assassination of Representative Steve Scalise in Alexandria, Virginia on Wednesday. The title of this report is "This is Why the Elite Are Targeting Trump." So this is a theory, and we're going to go into some more of this because we just showed you how they're targeting him. So Scalise was shot, and the reason why he was shot is because he was doing a huge child trafficking uncovering. I just want to play the first line, the first part of the video, because you need to hear in Liz Crokin's own voice exactly what's going on with this situation.
Why are they trying to get this democratically elected president impeached? The answer is Pedogate. The answer is sex trafficking. President Trump is the first president in the history of the United States that has vowed to go after not only pedophiles, but the elite pedophiles. The world is run by elite pedophiles.
So that's an absolutely fascinating interview, and I really think it's very important that everyone watch that interview. We think Sean from SGT is incredible. We support him and his channel.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, for all that you're doing.
The reports that he's come out with have been mind-blowing and life-changing, and he's got a lot of supporters from many different belief systems as well, because the stuff that he does is just so great. So please go check out that interview. And just to back this up, there have been some really big, heavy-hitting stories that haven't made a lot of coverage since Trump came into the office.
And they haven't.
And the first story came out, I think this was around February, where there was like 1,500 pedophiles worldwide arrested since Trump was in office. So here's an interesting article from the World Tribune. Unreported 1,500 pedophile arrests made nationally since Trump took office.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And if you read through the article, you will see it gives you all of the different locations. There's actually this one page where they're reporting every single one of them, so that they're keeping track of all these different busts. Some of them are just individual groups. Some of them are large groups of people. And we actually just had another big breakthrough in Hollywood.
Right, so basically we had over recently 238 arrested in a major Hollywood pedophile ring bust. And this was conducted by the Department of Justice. Basically, they raided all across LA, and they arrested 238 people in connection with the Hollywood pedophile network. And this also includes some major Hollywood players, as well as politicians and some other white-collar professionals, a monk, and other high-ranking clergy members. This is really interesting. It doesn't go into specifics who was arrested. I think this is going to take another couple of months before more information is released about this recent bust.
Well, it's very telling, because if you've got such massive groups of people that are being arrested, because you can't publicize everything you do before you do it, right? So you have to wait and strategize on how you're gonna get them busted.
That's right, yeah.
And then you go and you clean up and take care of business. Meanwhile, while this is going on, you've got the crazy liberal media that's just flinging out made up stories left, right, and center to distract everybody from what's been going on behind the scenes. So the reason why they've been attacking Trump, according to Liz Crokin, who was actually in one of those articles as well, helping with this reporting, because she was there on the ground. She knows what she's talking about, so please listen to that interview. But she is basically saying that they're all run by pedophiles. The whole political system is run by pedophiles. They're just everywhere.
It's
elite pedophiles.
Infestation, yeah.
So Trump's doing something to root them out. Now, while we're here, we want to check in with Pizzagate. You may or may not know this, but there was a guy named Edgar Madison Welsh, who was the shooter for Pizzagate. He was the guy that went into the Pizzagate, the Comet restaurant.
Yeah, that's
and he went in and he shot a gun. He didn't shoot any people, but he shot the computer that had the hard drive that had all the evidence on it. He was arrested. He was tried. And so the latest news story here, again from the Washington Post, is that he's apologizing for what he did, and he's being sentenced. I guess he's going away for 4 years, right?
Only 4 years.
Only 4 years. But here's the funny thing.
Okay.
Call for an Uprising is our the YouTube channel that we love, right? So Call for an Uprising is just going nuts about this story, because he follows it, and so he's got these pictures of the shooter, going away on vacation, because the whole story just seems so incredibly fake. And what I found out is that he's actually he has an IMDb page. This guy.
What is that?
The Edgar Madison Welsh. That means he's an actor. He's a paid actor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he actually has an IMDb page.
You mean like a profile?
Yeah. So anybody who knows the IMDb, if you're looking up an actor or an independent actor, somebody that's not all the way up there, so you can this is people use this to hire actors for extras in movies and whatever, right?
Okay.
So he's an actor. This is the shooter for Pizzagate with his own "Hire Me, I'm an Actor" page on IMDb.
It's disgusting.
All right, so they have this fake court case that they put together. I think it's fake. I think the whole thing is staged. He went in to shoot out the computer to cover up the whole Pizzagate thing. And so call for an uprising. He's so funny. He's got these pictures. I'll try to grab them where he's got the shooter like on an island, on a tropical island, because he basically saying he's going away on vacation for 4 years. They're sending him someplace really nice. Like you think he's going to jail, but no, he's just getting paid off for what he did. Now I want to bring your attention to another series of interviews that came out recently, and it was really mind-blowing stuff. And Tivon and I listened to these interviews on a long drive. And this is the Dutch banking whistleblower Ronald Bernard talking about the crimes of the elite.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of a summary here. I'll read out loud. Bernard talks about the 8,800 people that run the world. He talks about the Bank of International Settlements, which sits on top of the global power pyramid structure. The interview talks about how the Bank of International Settlements is above all laws and enjoys total immunity and can't be prosecuted by anyone in the world. Bernard talks about how many people in the Bank of International Settlements are Luciferians and take part in satanic ritual ceremonies, which include child sacrifice.
Well, Ronald mentions how basically he was an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, and due to his business interactions, he was noticed by people that he was working with in the financial community, and that he was basically recruited to work with them, and that's what got him into that world. Of course, they had to ask him and kind of probe him out, suss him out, to make sure that he was able to keep confidential the activities of the nature of the transactions he had to deal with. But it was very fascinating because it was like a window into the world of finance.
It was really interesting, and he was basically describing how he stepped up from level to level, because they had to trust him more and more, and the higher up that he got as far as trust and the more responsibilities that he had, it was very compartmentalized, and he really explained what the journey was like. And the most shocking part of the entire interview is that you learn that the whole world banking system, at the very top, they're all Luciferians, and they all have rituals, and they do child sacrifice at these rituals. And what happened with this guy is that he was going to these rituals. He thought they were like, oh, they're kind of like weird, and they're into that weird stuff. But they had him participate in one, and they asked him to kill a child. And he said he could not do it, and that is why he stopped, and he tried to get out. And we're surprised this guy is still alive.
Well, this stuff with the child sacrifice is just running rampant around this planet right now. It seems like no one can navigate their life without stepping over a Luciferian or some hell pit somewhere.
And that's the problem. See, they're all coming out right now, and a lot of people are like, oh, let's talk about nice things. This is the news. This is what's happening. This is what needs to be talked about. We will talk about some other stuff as well, but when you realize that everywhere you go, you find these people. So on top of all of that, as far as the interview with Ronald Bernard, something else that was interesting is that he says that all misery on earth is a business model run by these Luciferians at the top. This includes what's going on in Syria. It includes what was done to Greece. And we learned that only 5% of the money loaned to Greece ever got to Greece. He also notes that in the Netherlands, they have gotten inflation up. By design, they've got it up by 2% per year on purpose, which is a direct theft from the people.
Yeah.
He notes that the citizen's service number is actually referred to as a citizen slavery number, which in the United States, that would be your social security number, or in this case, your social slavery number. So we do have a link to that interview as well. It's a pretty long one, so I definitely recommend watching that so that you can get a feel for what goes on. And so now moving over to another topic in the world of finance. Tivon, tell us about cryptocurrencies. What's been going on with them?
Okay, well, for the past 2 weeks, the price for cryptocurrency for whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other broad range of cryptocurrencies have gone down in value. But what's been seen recently is that it's predicted that that's a price correction. Now, what I mean by that is Bitcoin at one point was like topped over $3,000 per one Bitcoin. But within the past couple of days, there's been market fluctuations in the price of a Bitcoin, and it would go down to like $2,400 a Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's massive fluctuations, and it's enough to make the news. And the reason why it's making the news now, as opposed to maybe in the past, is because of the size of the fluctuations in the price of these cryptocurrencies. However, the general price for a Bitcoin has still gone up over 150% over the past 12 months. So if you were to draw the long-term projection over a year of the price of a Bitcoin, it's still going up, but the fluctuations are broader. They're larger. They're hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people can't there's always a reason why this happens. The most recent reason seems to deal with, for example, Ethereum had a huge glitch in the coding, and for that reason, it had to be fixed. But in doing so, for a brief period of time, it lost at least 92% of its value.
Overnight.
Or
not even overnight, just like instantly.
It was like instant.
Because of the glitch in the system. Wow.
Now that glitch has been corrected, and in fact, because of that, the price of Ethereum is still several $100s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now why? So the question is, with all these fluctuations in the cryptocurrencies, with there are scandals here and there of cryptocurrency exchanges ripping people off of their money, or these scams that are out there. Why is cryptocurrency as valuable as it is? It's because of the technology. Now, all cryptocurrency, most of them, function on a piece of a code called a blockchain, and this is an encrypted form of transaction that allows digital documents to go from one user to another. It's completely revolutionary on how to do transactions. You do it securely, you do it in an encrypted environment. Now that template can be applied to any of the new technologies that are coming on board as far as encryption. So, and it's open source, and the hardware that's involved, whether it's your mobile phone, computers, and so forth, it all act as a node on the network. There's no main server sitting somewhere in Utah or what have you that manages the entire network. It makes it very robust and very hard to break. But if you're on the network, if you want to do a transaction and have a ledger or recording of that transaction that's all encrypted, the blockchain is the code that allows that to happen. The blockchain is what's in all these cryptocurrencies, and is the reason why the market cap for cryptocurrencies is in the several $100 billion range now. Why? Because banks are going into the cryptocurrencies. They've been investing in it at least for the past 4 or 5 years.
I have to bring up a controversial topic or two, because for people that don't know, what is this stuff? What is this cryptocurrency? What's the Bitcoin? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people listening have at least heard about it, because it's been all over the news lately. So, maybe we'll do a side video that kind of gives people a general walkthrough that introduces this whole world of cryptocurrencies. But for now, I just want to address a couple of questions. Is Bitcoin the mark of the beast? And if not, why?
No, so we're just throwing this out there. Obviously, in my opinion, I don't think it is.
Right.
I think the mark of the beast is going to be something that is on your person, and your technology that tracks your body without the requirement of anything else externally. So just for knowing who you are classified in a opaque system that you have no control over, that you can't refute.
Yeah,
that'd be the class. So this Bitcoin is a technology. Bitcoin is a tool. And the underlying nature of the technology behind it is open source. What that means is it gives people the ability to be able to trade with one another without the need of having a centralized system. It's the direct opposite of Big Brother. It's the direct opposite of the market beast.
And that's the thing I wanted to really get into for just a second, because I've heard people that don't understand that, and they're a little confused, and they automatically put this label on cryptocurrencies by saying they're all evil and they are set up by the cabal or the banking families, and they're meant to tag us, and they're just bad for you, and it's of the Antichrist, and all these different things I've heard said about these things. But at its fundamental level, the thing that you need to understand is that cryptocurrencies they're going up against the fiat system,
right,
and the banking system, and the banks can't stand them.
Yes.
Because they can't control them. They're definitely not on the same side as these banks and these cabals. Except maybe, I don't know, there's some questions about Ethereum, because Ethereum is owned by Microsoft, is it not?
Yeah, so cryptocurrency and the underlying technology behind them, the blockchain, is like a tool. It's like the scaffolding. It's like computers. Now you can use computers to try to control, to manage an oppressive regime, or you can use computers to break free and to do all kinds of different things with them. The point is, it's technology, and because the technology is so attractive, you're going to find players from both sides. Those using it to liberate and to come out with new systems that are quite frankly capital friendly. And then those who will use it to try to centralize more control, but just it's going to be a battle, the cryptocurrencies, because it's so attractive, has so many uses, and people are going to use it for different things. So I see a wide range of solutions coming with them. It's just going to be an interesting thing to watch.
So we have a few headlines here we just want to highlight about cryptocurrency news.
There is an article from CoinDesk. Europe's second largest port launches blockchain logistics pilot. And basically this article is talking about a port, a Belgian-based port out of Antwerp, that has announced testing a system of logistics that is using the blockchain technology. Now, this system will allow ships and to come in with its cargo, and to basically run the cargo through this system that relies on the blockchain technology. Now, the reason why this is important, if you read the article, what it talks about, if you're into shipping, if you are a retailer, seller, and you need to import a lot of items, you're familiar with having to go to a port to receive your items. It's not just you getting something sent express to your door. When you're dealing with items that you're trying to buy or sell, you actually have to go to a cargo facility of some kind and get your bulk items that are like in pallets or in giant metal containers. So when you're dealing with that scale, there is a lot of paperwork and logistics involved in getting your stuff. And you go through at least 30 different groups of people to get your things. And the cost for that administrative work could be up to 1/3 the cost of the items that you paid to receive. This is if you're importing things. And that's because it's the logistics involved in getting your stuff through customs, through shipping. Well, this port facility is testing the blockchain technology, which is supposed to streamline all of that, to have all of these intermediaries, links in between in the administrative side of it to use the same system. So all that paper goes away, and you have this electronic system that everyone is using. Okay, so this next article is one of many, but a restaurant in the Russian capital is accepting payment in Bitcoin.
Wow.
And it's just talking. It's just that's basically the point of the article, and it's just to illustrate. Since 2008, there have been these stores, these shops around the world, one at a time, is accepting Bitcoin. And this is another one in the middle of Russia. Even though the Russian central bank doesn't officially consider Bitcoin actual money, businesses are accepting it as trade. Okay, and in this last article, again from CoinDesk, is China's central bank vows to push blockchain in 5-year plan. So the People's Bank of China has released details about its 5-year development plan and basically reforming its banking system in its domestic financial industry. And basically it's looking at, or has looked at, as researched and is doing test trials for doing transactions using the blockchain technology that underpins all the cryptocurrencies. So it's not like just the Bank of China is hopping onto Bitcoin. And if you read the actual research, they claim they're making a blockchain-like cryptocurrency as a form of doing transactions. So what that sounds like to me is they're making their own cryptocurrency and they will be using that as the way of doing transactions domestically. And as we know, since this is electronic, this is going to be a shiny new system that they're looking at rolling out within the next 5 years.
These are great articles to really show how things are moving forward.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that when people hear central bank, especially in the past couple of years with the financial crisis, that they, that's the enemy, that's the devil. These people, they're control freaks, and yeah, okay, they are. But at the same time, when it comes to these systems, even they know that when it comes to fintech and the IT industry, in the Internet of all things, the most robust systems are the ones that are decentralized.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people and people that we know personally that are accepting Bitcoin, people that are getting involved in different Bitcoin investing groups.
Yeah.
And they're getting on board with it. And I think that as a whole, it's kind of like the people are turning their nose up at the banks.
Yeah.
Well, look what's been happening with our financial system. So so there you go. So Bitcoin is it's definitely doing some stuff. And I've had a Bitcoin for a while. I've had some Bitcoin. It goes up and down, and it's nice to see the numbers going up again, and it's nice to see people putting their faith in investing in each other, and investing in real services and products rather than trying to rely on this fake fiat currency system where money's just printed out of thin air and controlled by the ruling elite.
Well, that's one of the good things about cryptocurrency is at least transactions can occur between two people. And that's very important.
Yeah, it's really cool. You put it on your phone, and you can just scan the phone sometimes, and pay for something just by scanning your phone.
That's right.
Anyway, we're getting close to a break. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to play a video that's showing you guys one of our products. Tivon and I wrote a book called Forbidden Tech.
Yes, we have.
And this book covers all different kinds of topics, from free energy and gang stalking, targeted individuals, microwave weapons, chemtrails, geoengineering, all different kinds of stuff. So all these topics are in our book, and if you can just hang in there with us, we'll be back in about 4 minutes or so with the second half of our show.
Hi, this is Tivon
and Naima, creators of Forbidden Tech,
the complete guide to energy, social, and biological technologies that they did not want you to know about.
If you're looking for solutions that can help protect you and your family from the harmful effects of man-made, hidden technologies that are destroying our environment, or
you are concerned about the consequences of things like geoengineering, chemtrails, GMOs, and RFID chips, or
you feel like you've been a target, have been stalked, or you're a whistleblower, or have been blacklisted or persecuted, or
you, your business, or your children have been victims of online bullying, defamation, and cyber terrorism, or
you want to know why we do not already have advanced technologies that can help improve our lives, or
you do not trust your government or Big Brother and feel like our society has turned into a 1984 novel, or
you believe that some of the conspiracy theories out there are actually true. and you want to have the facts or patents needed to back that up in front of your friends who all think you're crazy, then we created this book and course just for you.
We've had first-hand experience with things like electronic harassment, energy weapons, chemtrail-related illness, RFID chips, and Gestapo-style suppression tactics. We've done radio shows, interviews, lectures, documentaries, and many other things in our field.
We have become passionate about the need for average people to take control of their own health, environments, and relationships when it comes to technologies that they might not even know exist, and to stop falling for the smoke and mirrors world of media lies and propaganda that hoodwinks people out of their own money, health, and well-being just because of their ignorance.
We realized that we loved teaching and sharing our knowledge and experience, and since we've started, we've helped scores of people to understand how forbidden technologies may be causing a lot of the problems that they are experiencing in their lives, and most importantly, we've helped them find solutions to overcome these problems just by applying some awareness, common sense, and a few simple tools. With this book and course, we've taken everything we found and compiled it into one basic, easy to understand body of work. Among the many topics covered in this book, you'll learn about free energy, patents, political scandals, murders and cover-ups, engineering basics, cars that run on water, surveillance, gang stalking, energy weapons, and viable solutions to protecting yourself against them. We've cut out all the fluff and brought you right to the heart of the matter.
So you might be wondering what any of these things might have to do with you, right? This book is a roadmap that can help you navigate through some very common but under-recognized problems that many of us deal with today.
You see, if you live on this planet, you're affected by technology. We all use energy every day. We all breathe the chemicals in the air and eat them in our food. We're all part of a society that has been using covert operations on its citizens. A lot of these technologies have been making us sick or destroying our peace of mind. There are solutions for these problems, and this book can help you find them.
The Forbidden Tech book and course cuts through the lies and propaganda, which ultimately just serve as distractions from the main objectives that you should be focused on, which are once again, understanding what forbidden technology is being used and what you can do to protect yourself and your family.
In fact, we feel this information is so important that we've decided to give away a condensed version of the book in an instant access digital download, just so you can see for yourself how explosive some of this information is. All we ask is for your email address by clicking on the link below this video, and we will send our Forbidden Tech download, which is a 60-page condensed version of our book, right to your inbox.
So please click the link below.